All right, and we're live with our special guest, Geraldine Brown. I'm so super excited. In this video, we are going to talk about an incredible special event called the Unstick Your Stuck Summit. And wow, you're just a treat tonight. You're going to meet an amazing woman. She's an entrepreneur. She's living in Las Vegas, and it's crazy is we live in the same town. We've known each other for about almost 6 or 7 months at least. We still have
Yeah.
not actually met in person.
Yeah, we actually met each other through a Pete Vargas challenge that he did last March. I think I started to see you show up in that challenge, and I was showing up in that challenge. Went, oh wait, he's in that challenge and he's from Vegas. I need to know him.
Yeah. Well, and then we were just talking about that right before we went live about how to network online in these challenges. So yeah, in this video tonight, we're just going to Geraldine in a really nice, easy conversational way. We're going to get to hear a little bit about her story, some of the really fun and exciting projects that she is working on. And then also we're going to give you more details about this summit. I got to tell you, one of the main reasons I'm really excited about this summit is because I get to be a part of it. And it's just an honor and a thrill. Once you hear about what this is and how it's going to impact lives, how it's going to help people, how we're going to be able to actually serve people in this summit that's coming up. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Geraldine Brown. Go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know. We, like you said, we met online a while ago in the Pete Vargas challenge, one of the challenges, and we kept running into each other. And I did my own challenge. And then you joined that challenge, and that's how we really got to connect.
Yep, that's right. So I'm super excited to be here too. And I have never done a StreamYard. So this is a lot of fun. And I'm going to tell you, it works a lot better than doing those lives on Facebook. So trying to get that to work. So I'm super excited to learn this. But yeah, my name is Geraldine Brown, and I am a school teacher. And last year, when we were told on March 13th to go home and not come back, I looked at my husband and I said, I've just been handed this rare gift. And I am going to go and start that business that I've been saying I'm going to start because I've just been handed a gift. And I'm going to go find some coaches to help me figure out how to do that. Because I've been teaching and coaching women for years, but I didn't know how to make that, like to help the masses and to get into more people's homes and, stuff like that. So that's what I did. And that is one of the ways that I met you, is because I joined a challenge. I went and I hired people like Pat Quinn and Pete Vargas, and I met you. So I was really super excited that it brought so many new people into my life. And what I love the most about it is that yes, I've learned a ton of things going through those challenges, tons of things about myself and about business and et cetera. But I met amazing people. And I met people who wanted to improve their life. I met people who knew that they were meant for more. And that is exactly why I was so excited to do the challenges. And so then, like Mike said, we just started to see each other more and more and thinking, this dude is in Vegas. I need to get to know him. Well, because of COVID, we didn't get to know each other. And now I'm back to teaching on a hybrid situation, but nevertheless, still working really hard on how to improve myself and help other people and women improve themselves. And so I think that one of the greatest gifts I've been given is to meet amazing people who want to improve their own life and want to improve the lives of others. So my hat off to you, Mike, for being one of those people. And so what I did was I went and I started a business called Your Kind Mind. And that is basically teaching people how to, and specifically women, we beat ourselves up. We like to, I'm too fat in these jeans and my hair doesn't look right and I've got a pimple on my nose and I'm old and I'm gray and I'm, whatever it is, or I can't seem to cook like my neighbor cooks. And we play the comparison game, and we play the let me beat myself up game, and we play this negative record again and again and again in our head. So give me an amen in the comments if any of you are like that. You play this negative record, and men probably do it too, but I'm not a man, so I don't know. But you could certainly address that, Mike. But we play this negative record in our head. And my goal is to teach women how to get out of that record and go over and record a brand new record and have it be a positive record. And I'd love to tell you it's just mindset, but it isn't. It's work. You know, like you have to do more than just think positive thoughts. You have to put action behind the thoughts. You have to intentionally decide, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to really think about what I need to do differently. And so I sat down and I started to come up with a process that helped me to be able to figure out what is it that I do and how do I do it so that I could make it be a real program to help women. And so as I started to do that, I work real closely with an organization called Families Mentoring Families. And I go to Africa and I do a lot of humanitarian work in Ghana and Kenya. And my partner my business partner, Becky Rogers, who came up with Families Mentoring Families, NGO. And I started to realize that what she does for her business, not her NGO, her other job, and what I do partner really, really well together. And we started to take a close look at that. And what we discovered was that we are they're almost symbiotic. Do you know what I mean? Like they're so on the level with each other. And so we started to come up with a program called Unstick, You're Stuck. And so we did an 8-week program called Unstick, You're Stuck with women who showed up, every 2 weeks. And we learned from that, like we should have. And we're going to make some changes on that when we do it again in the fall. But we're going to be running that program twice a year. And then we have a culminating program that anybody can join that happens next Saturday. And so while we were thinking, okay, what do we want to focus on? We know that women want to get unstuck. I mean, truly, and I can only see some of the comments that are coming up, but has anybody given us an amen that you have that negative record in your head? I mean, I do. I've had that negative record in my head, and you probably do. I mean, Jackie has said amen, Illinois, right? And definitely we have that negative record. And so what I've discovered is that we've all been through some stuff. If you follow me at all, and I hope that you do, because I'd love to get to know you, but if you follow me at all, I'm positive Polly. Like I don't post negative stuff. I'm like Mike. We're really super happy and positive, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're super that. But I've had crap happen to me, just like everybody else. I mean, I don't know anybody. I think if you're 15, you've had crap happen to you because you've been through the 5th grade. So that alone will get you playing that negative record. Just the fact that you survived the 5th grade, right? Some of the meanest people I know live in the 5th grade.
Yeah, most definitely. I couldn't agree more.
Right. And so I've had like all of us probably on this live, I've had crap happen to me too. And I could have sat back and become the victim. I could have thought my life sucks. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I must have something wrong with me. And I've certainly thought all those things. There's no doubt. But through all of those things, and let me just give you a real brief, this is some of the stuff that's happened to me. When I was 12, or when I was 11, I should say, my grandfather and I went on this really fun all day long fishing trip. And on the way home, he sexually molested me. So I've been through stuff, just like a lot of other people have been through stuff. You might not have been through that stuff, but I've been through stuff. When I was 29, my starter husband came home and said, hey, we need to get divorced. My girlfriend's pregnant. So I've been through some stuff. There's no doubt. And certainly between being 11 and 29, I had a lot of other stuff happen to me, no doubt. But I had a lot of amazing things happen to me too. And one of the things that I had amazing happen to me was one of my dearest friends, when I got divorced from my starter husband, said, Geraldine, the best thing you could learn how to do is to become your own best friend. And I thought, that's pretty powerful, right? But I was 29 going through a divorce, and this is what went through my head. What do you mean by that? I mean, I like who I am. I don't even know what you mean by that. I don't even get that statement. And she said, oh, I think you do like who you are, but I don't think you love who you are. And she said, and when you figure that out, everything in your life will change.
So what's your definition of loving yourself? Because we are part of our self challenge, and that's really how we connected. And it's really cool to hear more details about this part of your story. What is your definition of self-love?
That is a great question. I would say that I'm able, for one thing, I'm able to look myself in the mirror, because a lot of women cannot look in the mirror and really look at themselves. That alone is hard. Okay. And I can look in my, not to embarrass you, Mike, but I can look at myself in the mirror and be naked while I do it and not beat myself up. Now, I have beat myself up before, but I immediately say, okay, that's not the record I'm going to play. That's not being kind to myself, right? It's also a matter of being able to make choices that stay within my own integrity and to know what my...
Wait a minute. That is huge. Put a big huge in the comments. Making choices that respect integrity. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that is incredibly powerful.
Thank you. But to me, that is one of the biggest things. When you truly love yourself, you make different choices about how you're going to live your life. And it can be the choice of, I'm going to have a drink and get on the road, or I'm not. It could be a choice of, I'm not going to beat myself up today because I'm going to live in respect of myself. It could be a choice of, I'm not going to kiss anybody till I've gone out with them at least 6 times, because I want to make sure that I'm really interested in them and they're interested in me as a human being, not as a pair of lips with a cute body or whatever. Okay. I really want to be in integrity with myself. When you are truly in love with yourself, you hold your own integrity. And when you are out of integrity, you restore it as soon as you can, because we can't always be in 100% integrity, because we're human and because there are other things around us. So here's an example. I like to be on time to places, but if I'm for some reason not going to be on time somewhere, as soon as I realize I'm not going to be on time someplace, I need to restore integrity with the people that are waiting for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be something that simple, right? And so what I've discovered through a lot of mistakes, lots of mistakes, which I go into more in my program and in the Unstick, You're Stuck. But I discovered I didn't always make good choices. I didn't stay in integrity. I didn't have enough respect for myself. I thought that I needed other people around me showing me attention and love, and what I thought was love, to feel worthy. And then one time I had a really bad financial decision in a relationship, or what I thought was a relationship, and it cost me a lot of money. And the result of that cost me a lot of embarrassment. And I can remember crying in an airport on the other side of the country, wondering how I was going to get home because of my bad choices, and remembering my friends say, the best thing you could do is to become your own best friend. And I thought, I need to go figure out what that means.
How did you get home? That's what I want to know.
I barely made it home. I had enough money in savings. You know, I was the girl who lived paycheck to paycheck because I didn't make good choices with money. You know, and now I don't ever live paycheck to paycheck, and I make really good choices with money. But that was the process. That was not something easy. But I barely had enough money. But I didn't have enough money to pay my electric bill when I got home.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how resourceful you get when you have to become
Yeah.
resourceful.
Yes. Yes. And I didn't have enough money. And this is probably this is more embarrassing to tell you. Like sometimes it chokes me up. Okay. This is more embarrassing to tell you than telling you about what happened to me with my grandfather and telling you what happened with me to me with my starter husband. But because I made those bad choices and I didn't have enough money to pay my electric bill, my electricity got turned off. And it was 2 weeks before I could afford to turn it on. And I'm a professional woman. And I was becoming really resourceful because I was having to do things like I had a gas stove. And so I'd hold up the flashlight to the mirror to put my makeup on, and I would heat up bath water and take a sponge bath. And I'm a professional woman. I have a college degree. I have a career. That is so painful for me to tell you. It's hard for me not to cry. And I'm going to tell you why that is more painful. Because I could control that, and I didn't. I couldn't control the choices of my grandfather and my starter husband. Those were their choices. But I had complete control, and I was out of integrity with myself big time. So I think that is one of the biggest things you could do. And once you start to learn integrity, you start to identify who you are in a whole different way. And I don't identify myself anymore. Thank you so much. I appreciate the sending me love. Thank you so much. I don't identify anymore with, even though I'll say to people, like people say, well, so what do you do for, what do you do for a living? Or what do you do? And, I'm a school teacher. This is my 34th year of teaching special education. I have a makeup and skincare company a brand company that I represent. And I have Your Kind Mind. But though, I'm a wife, and I'm a sister, and I'm not a mother, sorry, I'm a stepmother, I'm all those things. But I don't identify myself with those things as much as I am a person who is in love with herself, and I don't apologize to anybody for it, and I hold my own integrity.
Yeah.
That's a different identity. I don't look at roles, right? I don't look at roles anymore to find my identity, because roles change in your life, right? You might be an
well, in society, if they can't put you in a box, they slap a label on you.
Correct.
So we learn how to do it at an early age.
Absolutely.
It's been done to us, right? So
absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so what I do is I don't assign myself roles, because, I was married to one person, and then in the course of my lifetime, I have become a widow. And that was totally different role than being divorced. You still lose the guy, but a totally different kind of role. And now I'm married to my teenage sweetheart. It took us 33 years to do it, but I'm married to my teenage sweetheart, and he's just amazing and fabulous. And we have such a magical life together. And I'm so grateful. But I'm so grateful I was married to my starter husband, and I'm so grateful that I was with Ron, my fiance who passed away, and stuff like that. I mean, these were all gifts that I was given.
Yeah.
And I don't look at them as bad things. I look at them as opportunities to grow as a human being and to decide what is really important. Is it important for me to hang on to that? Is it important for me to hang on to anger and bitterness? Or is it important because that is not who I am inside? I'm not an angry person. I'm not a person who wants to be bitter. Or can I let go of that? And can I say, what's the lesson here? What was the gift I was given? And there were a lot of them. I was given a lot of gifts in all of that, and so
definitely, when you change your perspective on things that happen in the moment, how many times have we heard in the moment, it's easy to say, oh, well, yeah, later you'll look back, but hindsight is 20. And
it is. It definitely is. There's no doubt. But the better you get with this, Mike, the quicker you can get to that hindsight.
Oh yeah,
and instead of having it be years down the road,
seeing patterns, and the better you know yourself and respect yourself, and be like, oh, I'm not gonna say that again. I'm not gonna do that again. Yeah, you gotta learn. Well, trust me, I've been hearing it since I was a kid. It seems like I've always been in trouble with someone my nickname growing up when I was a kid was Mikey No. It was because it was Mikey No, Mikey. So
yeah. So you get it, right? You get
totally
it.
get it.
You know, yeah. And so anyway, I started to develop, and what's interesting was I developed early on in my teaching career a way to teach children to take ownership of their choices, to gain more control of their life, and to be more responsible for themselves. Okay. And I've taught for years. I don't teach this population anymore, but for years, for 28 years, I taught the emotionally disturbed kids. And so that's what I did. And then I realized one day, okay, wait, but you're not taking your own advice. So this isn't going to work out for you. Oh yeah, that's being out of integrity again. See how that all just kind of rolls back right to that? And so I started to really think about, what am I teaching to them? Because it's working. Hey there, Saban. How are you? I never know if I'm saying your name right, but I hope I am. But, you know, what am I doing with them? Because it works. Because I'm changing kids' lives. And then I realized, okay, I need to apply this to my own life. I need to do this for my life. And that is where things changed. When I started to get a process and go, oh, this is what I'm doing. And then I noticed that a whole different man started to come to me. A whole different relationship started to develop, platonically and romantically. Different people came into my life that didn't come into my life before. All right, it's close enough. I'm going to work on that, girl. I know that you're Coates. I know that you're Miss Coates, and I know that you're a comedian, and I know you're funny. So there you go. But I just started to come up with a process. And then I noticed that women started to come to me and ask me for help and ask me for advice. And that's when I realized I need to go and do this. I need to get this out to other people. I need to help them learn to fall in love with themselves. And so I have a whole process because, again, it's not one thing, but there seems to be some things that really help to shut women down. For instance, one of them is just a simple form of communication. Communication is hard. And when you have to have hard conversations, it's nearly impossible, especially if you're a person who doesn't like conflict. So just put in the chat, if you like conflict, say, I love conflict. Let's see how many we get.
I'm very anti-confrontational. I don't like it.
Nobody, I mean, you know, lawyers probably like conflict, and that's because that's what they do. But I don't know anybody who likes conflict. Like people who are emotionally and mentally disturbed, and I don't think they necessarily like it. I just don't think they know how to do something different until they're taught. And I've spent years doing that, but I don't know anybody that likes conflict. But this is what I do know. A lot of women will avoid it to the point that they will shut their voice down and won't say anything. And yeah, I run from conflict. And what happens is that you start to, thumbs down, right? Thumbs down on that. So that's one of the things we also talk about is, how can you have a difficult conversation or a conversation that makes you a little nervous? And how can you have that conversation? Because not having it is not being in integrity with who you probably really are, because you're letting other things control you. You know, so, and there are a lot of tools. How do I say it? What do I do? How do I approach the person? You know, those kinds of things. So I have a process where we kind of go through that and work on that, because it's just, it's critical, I think, for so many women to save themselves. And so my whole thing is to teach women how to fall madly, deeply in love with themselves. And I think that is really, really powerful to do that. And like I said, I make completely different choices now, and I bring completely different people into my world because of it. And you're one of them, you know, and Becky, the lady that I'm in partnership with our event that goes on next Saturday. She and I are very, you know, much in, you have to take control of your own life. And so when we sat down to say, okay, who do we want to come to this event? And we want women, of course. We want women who feel like, I'm kind of stuck in something. And and it can be whatever, I mean, there's so many ways to be stuck, right? I mean, I get stuck in stuff too. I don't have it all figured out. It's a journey, right? It's a journey. But you were one of the names. We came up with, I said, I have a friend that goes live every single day. And he's done it long before live on Facebook was available. And I think he would post it. Isn't that right, Mike? Do I have that story right?
It's pretty cool. I started going live when it came out on Facebook.
Okay. And he has not missed a day, and it's really impressive. And he's got this amazing personality, and he's really super positive, and he's made huge transformations just in the 12 months that I've been watching him. And I think that he could go live, and I think he would be a great presenter, because we wanted to bring in a male influence, because we need to have a balance, even though there are more female presenters, but we need to have a balance. And we're going to do this twice a year. So if somebody's going like, I think I could be in that and be a presenter, please reach out to me, because we're going to be doing it again. But when we looked at what you do, we thought, oh, Mike is all about how do you show up in life? Right? How do you show up in life? And so I'm so excited to tell all of you that that's basically what you're going to be presenting in our Unstick Your Stuck is go live in life, and how do you show up in life? So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be an awesome opportunity to be a speaker at a summit. One of the unique circumstances that we're in, I'm sure that if it weren't the way things were, we'd be doing it in person. And I'm living my dream. This is really what I've always wanted to do. And just taking action by doing videos every day, knowing and believing, making the decision to do it every day, that I could end up being a top speaker in the world is not out of the realm of imagination for me anymore. It even was in the beginning. But this is really, it's an honor, really, because I just want to say, when you put action into something that you're passionate about, and you don't, what do they say, that the why is more important than the how? When the why is big enough, why you want to do something, if you have that passion, you don't have to worry about the how I'm going to show up. I didn't know how to brand myself. I didn't know how to come up with the name Live Masters. I didn't know how to make a logo. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I didn't know how to build a network. I didn't lingo and stuff about. I didn't know any of it. And but I knew that there was something here. I knew as soon as I started going live and people started, and the things they were saying, I'm like, wait a minute. And I go look at their profile, and I look at them, this person's no dummy. Like, they're watching me. So it really made me start to think about, myself in a different way. And then I just started plugging away and growing. And I'm just, it's changed my life. The discipline of just coming and doing it every day has changed my life. It's transmuted into other areas of my life. Yeah. Like, I can't think about even what a day would be like if I didn't do a video. I can't think about what a day like if I didn't exercise. I can't think what a day would be like if I didn't connect with some amazing people that I've met. And it's just a really awesome, unique opportunity. And I'm humbled beyond belief to have you reach out to me. And, because here's the deal. You trust me enough to put me in front of all these people that you work with, right? And I don't take that lightly. And I'm going to have quite a bit of time actually to speak on the summit, right? It's a full on event, right?
So it's 50 minutes that you have to speak and stuff, and then I'll kind of explain how it's going to work so people understand. But I don't want to interrupt you. But it's 50 minutes.
Yeah, so 50 minutes. I have for 50 minutes. Now, anybody that knows me or watches my videos, how long are my videos? 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm out, right? So I'm sure I'll be able to put it together. I'm not worried or scared like I really would have been in the past. I'm just going to come tell my story. The first time that I ever spoke publicly was in another country, and I didn't know it was in England, and I manifested on a live video, and I'm in England. First time I ever speak publicly. A week before I get there, people are like, okay, well, you got to write your speech. Did you write your speech? Did you practice? I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I'm literally pulling my hair. So I get on. And what do I talk about? I talk about manifestation. So I simply talked about how I manifested the moment that got me in front of people that I was speaking to. And I just told them my story, how I got there. I kept it that simple. And so, man, listen, it's amazing how God will just open up the doors for you in ways you can't imagine. You take action and have faith. Don't fake it till you make it. Faith it till you make it. Because
Yeah.
I embrace the fact that we all have everything inside of us that we need to have everything that we want. We do, or we wouldn't be where we're at, right?
Correct.
I wouldn't change anything. Back to what you were saying a couple of seconds ago about, life circumstances being a gift, the things that teach you lessons in life. And a lot of people say, well, if you could go back and change something in your life, would you do it? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to change anything because I wouldn't do anything if I change things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't change anything either. Those were gifts that were given to me. And that mindset is so different. But again, it's more than just a mindset. It's the vision, it's the manifesting, it's the belief, it's the faith that you can do it. That is really what it's all about. So yeah, speaking about manifestation is going to be the perfect thing to talk about in your section. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I also love what you said that, don't fake it till you make it, faith it till you make it. I have a belief that the universe is perfect, whole, and complete. You just have to be quiet and listen. Because she's listening to you and you need to listen to her, or whatever your faith base is. But to have that faith that it will all work out the way it's supposed to, if you keep putting in action. If you sit on the couch and do nothing, it will turn out exactly with what you're doing, because you're sending that message out. But if you go forward and you continue to connect with people and to work on yourself, and you're sending that message out that I have faith in myself and I have faith in God, I have faith in the universe, whatever, that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And it does. It just does. I don't know how to, there's no way to explain it other than it just does.
Well, I say to myself now, if I don't want to do something or whatever, I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? Like, what else am I going to do? This is it. Like, seriously, this is it. I know, as crazy as it sounds. I was with Tony Robbins. I'm in the 20 challenge. I think you're in there too. And there's some people that are here that are watching the Tony Robbins challenge. Yeah. Let us know if you're put a TR in the comments if you're in the challenge. And they had some speakers on there today. They were pretty speakers. Like a couple different. There was a boss babes were on there, and there was another gal that was on there. I forgot her name. And they were telling their stories. And the first girl that came on, she was a mom, it's kids, and she $1 on da-da-da-da. She'd been doing it for 3 years. Then the boss babes come on, and they go, yeah, we did our Instagram, we did this and that. They've been doing it for 4 years. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, for 4.5 years. And they are on stage with Tony and Dean. So whatever, guess what? Who knows what they went for before those 3 years or 4 years. But I know the last 4.5 years, and I'm hot on their heels. And it's not crazy for me to say that anymore, because I know that it's going to happen. I just, like you said, I can't explain it, but
you just know.
It's just incredible. It's incredible what's happening.
A lot of it goes back also to I'm going to bet a nickel that I never bet more than a dime, and I live in Las Vegas and I never gamble. I bet a nickel if I'm not sure. I bet a dime if I'm really sure. I'm going to bet a dime that when you started this journey, you were not in love with yourself.
Oh,
but I'm going to, right? Did I win that bet?
I not only did I not love myself, I didn't know who the heck I was. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. I didn't know. I had no idea that any of this was possible.
Right. Exactly.
I would see people doing all the things that I wanted to do, and I would always think it wasn't possible for me. My whole life until I started doing this, and just believing.
It's crazy. Impossible
you start believing all the stuff that you read in yourself, and that's when all the magic happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the impossible becomes I'm possible. I mean, that's the big difference, right? Yeah, but you now hold yourself to integrity. You now have more respect for yourself. You now are in love with yourself. You are different. You're different just in the year that I started watching you a year ago. I'm different in the year that, and that isn't that the goal? Is to grow and develop and become somebody even more amazing. So I'm really super excited about this event. Some of the things that we've got going, we've got you're going to speak about just showing up in life. How do you show up in life, and how does life show up for you? Right? That's all about that manifestation and stuff. We've got Becky teaches people how to rewrite their story and make things come true, and that manifesting. We're going to have a panel during lunch. If you sign up for the $97 one, you get the lunch with it. We're going to have that panel for going from victim to victor. We've got Dr. Natasha Rangel, who's going to be there talking about learning how to become resilient through disappointment. And disappointment can be in so many ways. Disappointment that your parents are disappointed with you, or your spouse is disappointed with you, or that you got divorced and you're disappointed. I mean, disappointment is sort of the overall word, but it can come up in so many ways. And to be resilient and to heal from that. I'm going to be talking about falling madly, deeply in love with yourself. We've got alternatives to help the emotional health. My friend Kenyatta Turner. Do you know Kenyatta?
I don't. I'm excited to meet her.
Yeah. So my friend Kenyatta Turner is going to be talking about how to discover your behavioral superpowers. And we've got all kinds of people. Now, how many of you have heard of the book, The Henna Artist? If you've read or heard of the book, it's a New York best-selling it's on the New York Times bestseller list, and it's a really amazing book. It's called The Henna Artist. So if you've read it, put The Henna Artist or whatever HA in the chat to make it quick and fast. But it is a great book, and it's a book written by Alka Joshi, and she was born in a like a Mid-Eastern country, and right now I can't even think of the name of that country, and I'm so sorry about that. But she's going to be talking about her book. She's our keynote. So we've got a really great person coming. She's going to be talking about her book, The Henna Artist, and she's going to be talking about how that book, she was inspired by the kind of life that her mother could have possibly had if she hadn't gotten into an arranged marriage with her father. And so that alone is really interesting, right? And how they've made that life work, etc. So it's a great book. It's called The Henna Artist, and she's going to be the author that comes to speak to us. And then, so in the morning, we're going to have she will be our keynote, and everybody will be able to be there. And then we'll take a lunch break, and you can watch the panel of Victim to Victor. And then we're going to have a breakout sessions. So there'll be three. I teach special ed. That should scare you right now. Let's try that again. I teach. There are going to be three. There are going to be three breakout sessions, and each session will have 3 to 4 people in it. So then you'll sign up for, I want to be in session 1. I want to hear this person. In session 2, I want to hear this person. And in session 3, I want to hear this person. And then when it's over with, Becky, again, my partner in crime, is going to, and in life and in fun, my business partner, she's going to be doing a thing called body talk, which is really interesting. I don't know if any of you have been familiar with that, but it's a way to get the vibration in your body working more accurately, and so that you can manifest more things. And so she's going to be doing that. And it's $47 if you just want to show up that day and have access to the keynote and the 3 speakers at the end. And it's $97 if you want to have access to everything, including the panel and all the recordings, because you're not going to be able to go to everybody. And so you're going to then be able to get all the recordings, so that if let's say that you and I were at the same time, and some people wanted to hear what I had to say, and others wanted to hear what you had to say, but they still also wanted to hear what each other had to say. They'll have the recordings for that. So we're super excited.
Get all the recordings for the different breakouts. That's pretty
They
cool.
will get all the recordings for the different breakouts. Exactly. And so you'll be able to hear 3 live and then get the recording to the others. So we're super excited about it. And all of the money, all the proceeds go to the organization that Becky and I represent, Families Mentoring Families, which is an organization in Africa where we teach women how to read. And then we help them learn a skill so that they can be self-reliant and they can then get their families back. A lot of them don't have their children live with them because they don't have a way to take care of them. So their children aren't orphaned, but they live in children's homes. And so our goal is to teach women how to read and how to become self-reliant, teach them a trade so that they can then get their families back and learn how to be a family. And so we also just recently, this last year, we, through all of this COVID and everything, we actually manifested and paid for the land in Kumasi, Ghana, to have built, and it's land that has a lot of buildings on it. They've needed to be redone, but we're working on that. And we have the women come there with their families, and they are learning how to be a family. Because if you've never grown up in a family, you don't really know what that means. You know, how do you work together, and how do you play together, and how do you become functional and not dysfunctional? So we're working on that. And then we just a couple of months ago started working with Operation Underground Railroad, which is an organization that saves people who are being sex trafficked and that have been put into the sex trafficking world. And so we also have women coming to us from that world, and they can also stay there and restore themselves. And we call that the Family Restoration Center. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, and we work in both Ghana and Kenya. So I'm headed back in July to do some work. I'm headed back there for the month, 2 weeks in Ghana and 2 weeks in Kenya. So
that's coming up this July for you, this trip.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was supposed to go last year, and that didn't work out very well.
That's what's amazing about you. All this that you're doing here, with the networking and being involved with your business partner and pulling all this together, and not just sending money over there, but you're actually going to go there and be there. That's just incredible. It's totally awesome. When you told me you were going to Africa, I was like, what? And then you told me the story behind why you're going. It's truly inspiring. I think you're amazing. And I'm, like I said, I'm really excited about the summit because of what, not only of the women or the people or some men that are going to be there, right? To watch the summit, the value they're going to get out of it. It's for a good cause too, right? So, I mean, that's just, it's win-win for everybody. You know, people feel a lot better about giving when they know where it's going, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not into somebody's pocket that's, whatever. Then it's actually going to people that need it. It's very inspiring for sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's just been really an amazing trip. And then that was all a manifestation of what I wanted also. I'd been saying for about 26 years, someday I'm going to go to Africa. Yeah, someday. And then I went, okay, someday is not one of the 7 days of the week. You better change that mindset if you want it to manifest. And so I wrote it on the bucket list. And then I thought, okay, that's not good enough either, because I'm still not doing it. And so just very quickly, this is how it manifested. I had one connection in Africa, and her name was Becky Rogers, who is the Becky I'm talking about. I barely knew her. And she, I just started kind of following her because I knew she was in Africa, and I wanted to go to Africa. And that was the very short story of that. And so on December 31st of 2018, I wrote in my vision board, and I put pictures in my vision board of Africa and me working, children and, stuff, all of that kind of stuff. And then I sat down on January 1st of 2019, the next day, and I said to my husband, okay, this is what I'm going to manifest in the next 5 years. And this is how you're involved, and these are things I'm going to do on my own, but I need your support, and these are things I'm going to need your help on, and all of that stuff, right? Because you do need a support system. It helps, makes it a lot easier if you have a support system. And he says, okay, that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. I said, and you said it earlier, you don't need to worry about the how, you just need to know the why. You just need to know you're going to do it. Right? And I had no idea. And I said, I'm going to do it by the end of the summer in 2020. And this was January 1st in 2019. And the very next day, and I'm not kidding you, the very next day, the only connection I had to Africa messaged me through Facebook Messenger and said, I'm wondering if you're really serious about coming to Africa. And I went, ooh, like that. I don't know. I'm tearing up like every time I tell that story because it's so powerful. And I went, whoa, okay, universe, I get it. I'm listening, girl. Getting what? Okay, I get this. I'm supposed to be in Africa. And I was there 5 months later.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So
you've been there once. You've been there once. Not in July. This is your second trip back.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go. My plan is to go back every year. And obviously last year that didn't work out so well. So my plan is to go back every year. I serve on the board now, full disclosure. I serve on the board for Families Mentoring Families. And I am the representative. And while we do a lot with literacy, and we also, one of the things that we teach women is how to sew. It's a really good trade there. And I'm a professional seamstress. My real focus is to help the disabled there. And when we were there 2 years ago, I spoke at a conference in Kenya about people who are disabled and what we could do to help them. So my goal is on our board, I serve as the person for disabled people. And our goal is to be able to at some point open up a shop, probably a fulfillment shop like an Amazon, but not that big, obviously, and to employ people who are disabled so that they have a way to get a job, because people won't hire them because they're disabled. But that's what I do for a living. I work with disability. I work with people who are disabled, and I teach them how to get a job. I teach them how to work. That is what my job is. And so we're going to go ahead and our goal is to open that up someday, and not someday, but we're making that start to happen. And we're going to hire people who can do those jobs, because a lot of people who are disabled can do the job if you train them.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? They can do a job.
And then the job, and depending on the disability, there's lots of jobs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had blind students in my class before, and we've taught them to do jobs. And you have to make accommodations, but I know how to do that. And so that's one of our goals. And then the other goal is, and then I know we probably need to wrap it up, but the other goal is there are a lot of mothers who cannot work because their child is so disabled that they don't have services to take the child. Like here in the United States, we have schools that are made for children who are very fragile, and whatnot, medically fragile, physically fragile, but they don't have that there. And so they stay home, and the mother has to stay home and take care of the child. So again, there's no way to bring in a good income. And so wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't this be amazing? Imagine this, everybody watching, that we open up a fulfillment center where, we're shipping things out, and we have people who are disabled working, helping with the fulfillment. And then we have these mothers who need a job, and they are not disabled, and they're able to do the kinds of jobs that the disabled people can't do. And in this room over here, we have their children being taught, so they're actually being educated. We're bringing in occupational therapists. We're bringing in physical therapists. We're bringing in, teachers who know how to work with kids who have cerebral palsy, for instance. And so then they know their child is being taken care of, and they can work. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah,
definitely. Well, the way that you can manifest things and your desire and your drive, it's not going to be someday. It's definitely going to happen. Just like when you manifested wanting to go to the very next day, those messages. It's It definitely, I could see it all happening. It's already happened. You've
Yep.
already been there. So
Yeah.
I can't see. And you know, it's funny, you start to manifest things and you realize in the moment that you manifested that moment, it literally gives you the chills. And it's always better. I don't know about you, but it's always better when you realize in the moment you manifest. It's better than you've ever manifested, better than your imagination could ever imagine.
Yeah.
It's just and it builds, right? You just keep building
Yeah.
on it, and that's how you grow. You just like, yeah, if I did this, I can do that. If I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Mm-hmm.
I learned this little secret about life, and it is that when you start doing things that most people don't like to do, that's when you become successful. Like, just figure out all the things people don't like to do and
And do
start
it.
doing them.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
So I have a coach that people always say to him, and I love this response, and I've started to adopt it. So, how come you're always so years ago, coach years ago says, how come you're always so happy? You always seem to always want to do whatever you're doing. And he said, I never do what I don't want to do. And I sometimes have to think really long and hard about it, but I do, and I eventually decide I want to do it. And once I've decided I want to do it, there's no going back. It's happy. I'm happy. It's good. You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah,
It's all
definitely.
about how you look at stuff, right? I never do what I don't want to do. I just think about it till I want to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it starts out as little kids. When a kid doesn't want to do something, they want to go get or they don't want vegetables, they throw a fit. And some people's never grow out of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably.
All right. So listen, let's give everybody the details, the times real quick here, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna go back and get some more information from you and put it in the description to this video. So anybody that's interested in attending this event and being able to use this value and then be able to give back in a really cool way, like we've talked about in this video. Like I said, go ahead and give the details, times, dates, and all that good stuff, and then
Okay.
let everybody follow you and give you if they want more information about what you're doing.
Okay, awesome. So it is next Saturday, the 22nd. It is starting at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and goes until 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So you got to figure out your own time zone on that. And it's $47 if you just want to show up on your, just show up that day and go to the keynote and get the three the three speakers at the end and the body talk. That's $47, and we would absolutely love to have you join us for that. Again, those proceeds all go to War Families Mentoring Families. Or show up for $97, and those go to Word Families Mentoring Families, and you get the whole day. You get the panel at lunch. You get to eat lunch with everybody. Of course, it's virtual, and you get to have that panel. Plus, you get to go to all of the you get all the recordings. So yes, absolutely. You're in a motorcycle course. Cool for you. Register and you'll get the course. You'll get the whole day and you get all the recordings. Okay, at $97. It's an Eventbrite thing. I will send you the link, Mike, so you can put it in the description of this and all the other places that you're going. And feel free to share this out, you guys. I think everything that Mike is doing is really phenomenal and amazing. I actually listen to a lot of your videos when I'm driving to work and stuff, so I can be inspired. And I'm not answering back because I'm driving, but I am listening. Because I like to surround myself with positive people, and I like to surround myself with people who know how to manifest things. And that helps me to stay in integrity. So yes, if you cannot make it that day, just still sign up. You need to be registered by the 19th because I've got it on the 20th, pull it all together and make sure everybody gets where they're supposed to get and all that stuff. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited too.
Thank you so much for having me on here tonight and for agreeing to be one of our speakers. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. So I'm, like I said, this whole situation is a win-win for me, and I'm super excited. Everybody, thank you for tuning into this video. If you're watching this live on my personal page or in Live Masters, or if you're over on YouTube on the Live Master channel, thank you so much for watching. And stay tuned for some more information if you want to get involved with the summit, if you want to show up. And yeah, I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be doing it, and we're going to be adding lots of value. We're doing it for a great cause. So thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And Geraldine, again, so best way to get a hold of you is what? Facebook, Instagram? Where are you at mostly? Facebook?
So I'm not very good at Instagram. You can get a hold of me there. I do know how to respond to people, but I am on Facebook more. So you're welcome. My page is public. You're welcome to go there and friend me. You're welcome to DM me or anything like that. I'm happy to get a hold of you or help you with anything that you need. Just let me know. That would be perfect.
Awesome. Sounds great. Everybody, thanks again. Stay healthy. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. You guys are amazing. Thanks a lot.
Mwah.